Hello, hi friends, this is Anand, and in this short video I'll be talking about my interaction with an amazing personality. This was the first time I felt that I met someone who has so much energy even at the age of 80, and so much contribution that he has done, not only in India but all over the world. So it was an amazing opportunity for me to meet Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar. So I'll be sharing some of the key takeaways that I learned from our meeting, and I would be very happy to hear your thoughts and listen to your comments as well. So, first very important part that he mentioned was don't leapfrog. Instead, focus on pole vaulting. And what does he mean over here? He wanted to say that don't focus only on incremental innovation. Don't just be happy, by doing very small things. Focus on doing something that is transforming. Focus on the paradigm shift. And I felt that this was an amazing suggestion because we always, are stuck in the rut and, doing similar things, perhaps, in a little better way. Try to find out, a different ways. Now, again, connecting this to the second point, he mentioned that create your own pathways. So don't focus on creating best things because best things are already there, right now. So try to create the next things, and I really liked that as well, where, he mentioned that there would be, already pathways. So break those pathways, try to find out something which will create, even more, bigger, and continuously strive for that. And that's how, you'll be able to create something meaningfully different. Now, one more point that he mentioned, which was very interesting, that any innovation needs to be affordable and, excellent. So affordable, perhaps, let me go this way. So it has to be excellent and it has to be affordable. And what does that mean, right? And why it is important? If you do it in that way, then only you will be able to reach out to the masses. So let's take the example of Geo. Before Geo, the internet was so expensive. After Geo came, everyone, even a rich person can watch online streaming. At the same time, people from rural areas, they also can use internet with similar speeds. This is the innovation where you have, excellence as well as you have affordability. So again, this is something very important. Now, one more important point which is relevant or related to the previous point is ensure that your innovation is relevant as well. And why, innovation should be relevant? So the important part over here to understand is we spend a lot of time, creating something. We spend a lot of resources also. And if it is not relevant, it is all waste. And this is something that I can relate also with some of the products that we created. We created those products, we created those, additional innovative parts, in the product based on our thoughts, our gut feeling. We didn't see relevance in this. And he has created this assured framework, which you will also find on internet. And I will also share one of the links, where he spoke about the assured framework. And you should certainly look at. But very important part over there is it should be relevant, so ensure that whatever you are creating is relevant. Otherwise, it's just waste of time, resources as well. And one of the examples that he shared was this Google glasses, imagine, amount of time, amount of money, amount of resources were spent on Google glasses. It cannot be used right now. Perhaps in the future they might be able to come with something, but at this moment, whatever amount of investment that they have done is just gone, right? So something on these lines, let's ensure that we are creating things that are relevant as well. Now at the end, one of the really very interesting points, again, I see that there is a connection to all these points, but one very interesting point that you should not just focus on things that you can do. You should focus on things that need to be done. And this is so important, I can relate to one situation over here. When I went to Japan, it was, I think, my second company. My CEO asked me to write some stored procedures. Now, I was, a Java engineer, and, I just felt that, writing stored procedure is out of the scope, of the work that was given to me. And I had a very wonderful discussion. And at that time, he explained me that, look, Anand, these programming languages, these are just mediums or means, to reach to certain solution. Now, we want to be part of the solution. Let's not just focus on being just very small and narrow-minded, let's try to open up, try to learn new things, because whatever is going to be important for the company, that's what you need to do. And this was such an important suggestion, and I learned stored procedures. I created a lot of stored procedures after that. But again, the mindset, right, like is very important, where you need to focus on what need to be done. So these are some of the learnings that I felt I should share with you all. I hope you like this video, and if you have any comments, please feel free to put them in comment section. Thank you.